What's up, everybody? Check that out. Sunroof. I didn't even notice till yesterday. After I did a live stream. So it's cooler now. It's cooler. And hopefully you can hear me because I've kind of got the microphone a little muffled. So just the way I've got the phone positioned. So I'll try to really project. How's everybody doing this morning? It's another beautiful day. It's really mild in my neck of the woods. Have you noticed people being really weird lately? Just like driving weird. Some guy just tried to run me off the road a minute ago. It was like I wasn't even there. He just started coming over, and I was just like, "Holy shit!" Hammering on the horn. And then he was driving a Mercedes SUV, and when I pulled up to do the old give him the buddy, like, "Are you okay?" He's just like doing like one of these, like not looking at me. It's just like, okay, but that didn't just happen, and you didn't just fucking freak out after you tried to run me off the road. Okay, I guess we're just gonna pretend that didn't happen. So like that's the kind of things that are happening these days. I don't know if I mentioned it before, but I've noticed too that people around me. This is gonna sound wacky, but people like stumble around me sometimes. It's really weird. Maybe it's just me noticing more. I don't know. It's difficult to say. But I came on just to talk about something really quick. I just finished watching a Glen Beck clip, which I will post below, where he's talking about the Google's come up with this new chip that they call Willow. It's their Google AI quantum department. The whole concept of quantum is so convoluted. And the whole concept of what a proton is and what electrons are and what like the base level of energy and reality is, it's so convoluted that very few people actually maintain and keep like a solid footing on what is actually happening and what it is they're trying to say. Glenn just goes all over. He makes no sense whatsoever. That's fine. That's fine. That's not his thing. He even says, anybody with beyond an 8th grade understanding of this stuff, please don't be mad at me if I'm butchering this. So you butchered the shit out of it, Glenn. Anyway, he does string together a bunch of very interesting things. One of them being that Bible sales have gone up 22%. I don't know maybe the last quarter. Whereas regular print books have only gone up 1%. So I'm happy people are reading, but it's very interesting that Bible sales, in particular, are going through the roof, so to speak. Through the roof. There's a reason for that, and he says what it is. He says that people are trying to grab onto something solid, something foundational, something that makes sense in a world that seems to be not making very much sense these days. But he sandwiches that together with his talk about Google Quantum. And Google Quantum, it's going to solve. But he starts off by talking about how they came up with a study where they verified that Google Quantum is actually operating at this quantum level, and that it's reaching this kind of like proficiency level that we think means that it's actually doing something right, so to speak, or that it's pulling information, as they say, out of another reality, another dimension, another universe, call it whatever you want. He does go on to say something about how there's a difference between what does he say? He says there's a difference between the multiverse and whatever another version of this verse. I'll post it below. You can watch it and you can try to make sense of it if you want. But he doesn't make much sense of it. If anything, he's making everything more convoluted. And so he makes everything way more convoluted and then says, yay, Bible sales. People are trying to like latch onto something more foundational and that's real. Meanwhile, he discusses something that's not real. Like, it's just complete gobbledygook. He messes it all up. And he messes up how they describe what's happening with the chip. He says that neutrons are phasing in and out of reality, and they're held in place by electrons. And He just doesn't even mention protons, which is the other half of that equation. The proton and the neutron are what make up a atom with the electrons. So he misses half of the entire argument. And then he says, oh, you know, Bible sales are going way up. Okay, good. But then he's still saying, oh, you know, it's going to be wonderful. Google's going to be able to fix all of these diseases. But he starts off with talking about how they came to the conclusion that their chip works, and he says something about a trillion, or I can't remember the specific. They say that they know it works because it was able to calculate a trillion or quintillion. I don't remember. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. What matters is what I'm going to say to now is that how do they verify that? And he points out that they don't actually tell you what the question is that they asked it, that they said it verified it so fast, this many more times faster than a conventional computer or processor, and that's how they know it works. Okay, well, how do they know the answer to the question that they asked it? How do they verify that the question that they asked it, the answer is correct if it would take a trillion or it doesn't even matter, the numbers don't matter, but it's longer than the sum of existence of supposedly the planet, which he talks about too in the Big Bang, and the idea that the concept of the Big Bang was actually created by people who were religious, and that's true. And he also mentions Einstein said that God doesn't roll dice, and that is also, all these things that he's saying are true. Einstein's God was Spinoza's God. It was the God of pantheism. This is the kind of stuff I've been talking about. It sounds nutty, but Glen Beck's talking about it, and he's got, what, millions of viewers? But he's got it all wrong. It's just completely convoluted. It made no sense whatsoever. But if I talk about it, all of these same kind of things, and I point out why it's all just silliness, I'm crazy. Or something. I don't know. Anyway, I was writing a Substack this morning. I wanted to read, and I woke up, and I had to get up, and I had to read. I had to start writing this Substack, and I was almost done, and I almost published it. But I just ran out of time this morning, and I'm running out of time right now to talk. So I'm going to try to wrap this up, and I'll post the video before that I'm talking about, and I'm going to try to finish the Substack when I get home. I'm trying to get to a place where I can explain to you, to everyone that might happen to listen to me and my crazy ramblings, that I've been talking about this stuff for a long time, mostly the flaws. That doesn't mean I know what's right. It just means I have a great bullshit detector. And what I'm telling you is, what he just said was complete fucking bullshit. But he also related it to the God of pantheism and saying, oh, we're part of something greater, and Bible sales are going up, and everybody's stuck in the material, in the creation. That's part of what my Substack is about. They can't get their head outside of the box. And that's the one thing that I did that, again, solved the liar's paradox, which I'm not going to go into again. I've spoken about it. I'll post that too. I'm going to post this ramble, along with my ramble from yesterday, into my Substack that I'm going to hopefully produce tonight, along with my explanation of the liar's paradox and why Jesus Christ was the only thing that fixed the liar's paradox, and how all of these other versions of God come from within the creation, so that doesn't work. That's why they're all confounded and confuddled and convoluted. But I'm also going to bring the flux capacitor. The flux capacitor, which if you put it onto a 3D scale, reminds me of something else, which just happens to be the chemical symbol for pseudouridine. It's like a pitchfork. And oh my gosh, it has to do with the calculation for shit. I'm blanking right now because I know that I have to finish this up. I'm going to post it. I can't really... right now, I'm drawing a blank. Right now, I am seeing that I don't have a lot of time, but I'm talking about the orbs, and I'm talking about... The orbs. I'm talking about the UAPs. I'm talking about how all those things come together. Because they are all coming together. And I'm gonna post another video right now underneath from this guy that has this YouTube channel called Farsight, and he is a complete fucking kook. And if you think I'm a kook, listen to this dude. So if you think I'm a kook, listen to Glen, listen to this guy, and then I'll finish the Substack and I'll post it hopefully this afternoon, this evening. And I'll show you that I'm not so kooky, hopefully, if you can make sense of what I'm trying to say. Maybe I'm not so kooky. Have you ever seen Battlestar Galactica? You ever seen Battlestar Galactica? They get upset with the artificial intelligence things that they build that become sentient. And then the sentient things that starts this whole war, a clandestine war against the humans. Or, I don't know if they're technically humans in the... But it's a story. Whereas this is real life. And I'm wearing my frackin' toasters shirt. That doesn't mean... You know, I used to think that maybe our technology was bad. I don't think so anymore. I think a lot of people think that and it scares them. And I don't think we should be scared. But I do think that we should be scared of believing the wrong things, if that makes sense. Because that can definitely lead to something suboptimal. That's my theory. Okay.